Welcome viewers. Today's reasoning topic is Figural series. So this Figural series comes under non-verbal reasoning. So in this case, first we try to understand the exact definition of series. So series means a series of letters or numbers or figures are given one after the other. In this case, we need to observe the change that is happening from one figure to the next figure, and we have to apply that change to get the answer. Imagine there is one figure like this, and in the next figure it is given like this, and the next one is asking like this, and you will ask the what is the next figure that is going to be expect. See, what we need to do in the series, observe the change from figure 1 to figure 2 and the change from figure 2 to figure 3, and you need to get the answer for the figure 4. In this case, what is the change I can observe from 1 to 2? The change is rotation. Number 1 is rotation, whether it is rotating in the clockwise or anti-clockwise direction. In this case, it is rotating which direction? Clockwise direction. By how many degrees? 90 degrees. So that is the change I can observe from figure 1 to figure 2. In the same way, now you observe the change from figure 2 to figure 3. From figure 2 to figure 3, here also the change is same, that is rotation clockwise 90 degrees. So once you know the observe the change, that is 1 to 2 rotation clockwise 90 degrees, 2 to 3 rotation clockwise 90 degrees. Now you apply this and get the answer. Here also you rotate it clockwise 90 degrees. Obviously now your answer figure will be in this particular direction. So what is series? Series is nothing but observing the change in the pattern from one figure to the next figure. After observing the change, apply that change to the question figure to get the answer. This is nothing but a series. In this question figures are given in one particular order and is asking to find out the answer figures. See what I said, in case of series, you have to observe the change from one figure to the next figure, then observe from this figure to next figure, again observation from this figure to next figure, and whatever the observation you did, apply this observation to get the answer. So let's start the observation in this particular figure. See, there are two figures here. That is, one is the square and inside there is a dark one, and the second one is outside you are having two circles, and these two circles is one is darker one, another is lighter one. First we will try to observe the inside figure, later we will observe the circles. You see this inner figure, it is here the point, again here is the point, again here you are having, again it come to bottom. So how it is rotating? Here also the figure is rotating. How this figure is rotating? We know clearly from this point we can say that this particular figure is rotating clockwise. It is rotating clockwise from here to, from this point, if you divide like this, okay, now it is here, the next point is here, and the next point is here, and the next point is here. Means what exactly is happening? The inside figure is rotating by clockwise 45 degrees. So this is rotating 45 clockwise. Now you apply this same figure rotating clockwise 45. Now see here, draw two lines like this. Now it is here 45 degrees means now the direction will be like this, right? So the direction here is only for two options, that is option 1 and option 3. So option 2 and option 4 are eliminated. Now your answer will be either 1 or 3. To get the answer between 1 or 3, now we need to look at the outside circles, that is one dark circle and another one is the lighter circle. Look at this one, how these circles are moving. The darker circle is moving in anti-clockwise direction. See here, this is here and again moving here, coming to the center and moving outside. So this darker circle is moving anti-clockwise direction. See, what about this lighter figure? Initially the lighter figure is here and again it came to this particular point, again on the top, again on the other side. It is also moving a bit anti-clockwise direction only. In this case, all are moving anti-clockwise direction. The moment you see here, this anti-clockwise direction, this one comes to here, whereas the circle will move in this particular direction. You check that which option is going to happen. You know that directly option 3 is the answer, because you have the darker circle here and the lighter circle in this point. So, here also lighter circle in here and darker circle on the other direction. Answer is option C. Here two rotations. What are the two rotations? Inner circle is rotating clockwise 45. And how these outer circles? They are also rotating anti-clockwise direction. Sometimes in other questions, inner circle will move in clockwise, whereas outer circle will move anti-clockwise, or both anti-clockwise they will rotate, or both clockwise they will rotate. So, this also will happen. In this particular question, look at the change from one figure to the next figure and this figure to the next figure. There are two changes. What are they? One is rotation, other one is addition. See here, you have only one line and you have an arrow mark here. The moment it comes to the next figure, it rotated 90 degrees clockwise, but you can see the addition of two extra marks. You can see this addition of here one mark and here another mark, that is in blue color. Again you can see this in the next figure. In the next figure again it is rotating clockwise 90 degrees. See, from here to here there are two things, that is, one is rotation. Rotation is clockwise how many degrees? 90 degrees. Okay. And what is the next thing? Addition of two arrow mark. Addition of two arrow marks. Now we will see the observe from this figure to the next figure. In this case also again rotation clockwise 90 degrees, and how many are adding here? Here 3 is there, here 5 is there. So, you have to add extra 2 arrow marks. Now, here also from here to here, what is the change? By this rotation I can clearly eliminate option 1 and option 3. Now, your answer is between option 2 and option 4. Now, you have to add 2 extra marks. By adding 2 extra, you will get answer is option 2, because in option 4 there is no addition. So, option 4 is wrong and option 2 is correct. Here two changes, one is rotation, the second one is addition. In this particular series, there are 3 figures that are given in each box. You need to observe the change. Obviously, by seeing this, I can see what is the change. What is the change? The change is the movement of the figures. For example, see the center figure, which is at the center. It came to this position, so it is moving on to this particular direction, whereas this first figure moved from one end to the another end, whereas this first one moved to the next position. So, clearly they are changing the positions by one step. So, apply the same thing here also. Now, here the first one will move to the next position and the second one will come to this position and this second one will come to this again last position. Obviously, I am moving the third figure to the first position. So, my answer will be either 1, 2, 3 or 4. But you see the exact figure that is there. Option 1 wrong, because there is no circle here. Here triangle wrong, 3 wrong. So, answer directly I can say 4 is the answer. Here what is the change? The change is the movement of the figure from one place to the another place. See this question. Problem figure and answer figures are there. So, try to observe the change from A to B, B to C and C to D and apply the change and get the answer. See, in option A, there are total how many blocks are there? 3 blocks are there. So, this is one block, imagine, this is second block and this is the third block. The moment you come to the B figure, half is removed. So, here I can directly say that half of the block is removed. So, minus half I can say. Now, you see the change from B to C. In the B, there are 2.5 blocks, one block, second block and half block. But in case of figure C, you have only one block and half, means total 1 is removed. So, removed minus 1 block. And what is the change from C to D? Here C to D, the change is again, see here 1.5, here 1 block. So, minus half. So, what is the change? Minus half, minus 1, minus half, and what is the next change you can see? The next change will be again minus 1. So, remove the complete figure. The empty is our answer. So, what is the empty figure in answer figures? Option 3 is the empty figure. So, your answer is option 3 is the answer. Question figures then followed by answer figures. One thing is common, that is center pentagon is not at all changing. Pentagon same, pentagon same, pentagon same, pentagon same. Obviously here also it will have a some pentagon. Okay, so that was showing in the answer figures as well. But what it is changing? The outside square, circle and cross, these three are changing. We need to observe how these are changing. First I take the circle. Circle came this position, next came to bottom. So initially here, next bottom. So obviously and the next you will have somewhere here. See the rotation here. How the circle is rotating? The circle is rotating in the anti-clockwise direction from one point to the next point in the pentagon. Obviously in answer it will be somewhere here. Means if this is the pentagon, in the answer figure the circle will be here, because from here the circle will rotate to the next position. Circle will be here. By knowing this, we can eliminate certain options. What are the options I can eliminate? I think I can eliminate all the options like 2, 3 and 4. Directly I can say that answer 1. So let's check that how the another figures are that is rotating. See the cross. The cross is initially here and again it came to here, and next one it is here, and the next one on the other side. Now you see the cross is moving in the clockwise direction in the pentagon from one side to the next side. If cross is on the side, means obviously in the next figure the cross will come to the bottom. So the cross is bottom. In answer figure also the cross is at the bottom. So directly by seeing these two I can conclude 100% that answer is 1. But what about the swastik mark, how it is rotating? The swastik mark is rotating in the long way, means from here the next figure it is showing at the bottom, means it is changing 1, 2. So this swastik mark is jumping two sides in the pentagon. If you apply this change, that is jumping two sides in the pentagon, you will get the answer option 1. Look at this question. Observe the changes. So here there is one circle, line and two leaves are there. From one position to the next position, there are two changes are there. What are they? One is the rotation of this particular figure. How this figure is rotating? This figure is rotating clockwise 45 degrees. So that is this figure from here to here is rotating clockwise by how many degrees? 45 degrees. And what is the second change you can observe? I can observe that there is an addition of leaf. That is the first change. What is the second change? There is a addition of leaf. Now the leaf is added on the inside or outside? The leaf is added on the outside here, but not in the inside or near to this particular circle. So it is adding addition of leaf to the outside. Now what is the change I can observe from this figure to the next figure? Here also you can see clockwise rotation by 45 degrees. Yes, correct. And there is a addition of one more leaf to the outside. So this is also correct. Now what is the change I can observe from here to here? That is clockwise 45 degrees, means it will show like this. Again all the figures are like this only. And you can see there is an addition of one more leaf. Total you will get 5 leaves on the outside. See here, this leaf is inside. Okay, so this cannot be your answer. Here only 4 leaves are there. See here also 4, here also 4. Not possible. Now you can see here there is a addition of one leaf that is outside. So answer is option 3. In case of option 4, there are only 2 leaves, which is impossible. So your answer is option 3. Look at this question. In this particular question, there are 2 figures, and these 2 figures are changing both by rotation as well as movement. Means the smaller circle and the bigger circle. The smaller circle and bigger circle both are rotating and movement. So you can see a rotation, and also there is a movement from one corner to the another corner. First look at the smaller one. The smaller one moved to this particular direction from one corner to another. So there is a movement you can see, and you can also see there is a rotation here. You can see this dark portion is inside. Now it is showing here the darker portion. So there is a rotation of darker portion also. So how is the rotation? the rotation is in the anti-clockwise direction for the smaller circle. This is for the smaller circle. What is the change we can observe for the bigger circle now? The bigger circle is from here, it is moving to the diagonally to the opposite. So now it is moved to this position. Again from here you can see here, it is again moved diagonally here. So now it come to in this position. Again from here it is moving diagonally to the opposite position, means somewhere it appears here. So we know the movement. So here also movement for the bigger one, but not from one corner to another corner, but in diagonally. So bigger figure is moving diagonally. And see the rotation of the bigger figure now. How this bigger figure is rotating? Initially it is showing in this direction. The moment it come, it is showing to the bottom. So it is rotated in the anti-clockwise direction by how many degrees? 90 degrees. So the bigger figure is rotating diagonally, number one. Number two, it is rotating anti-clockwise 90 degrees. So now here, when it moved here to this corner in the answer figure, so it will move here to the answer figure. Now it is showing this direction, this darker one. Now it is rotating anti-clockwise how many degrees? 90 degrees. The moment it show that, it will be on the top. So this darker will be on the top. The moment you see this, option 4 is eliminated, option 1 is also eliminated. Now your answer will be 2 and 3. Now see the small circle, how this small circle is moving from one corner to the another corner. So there is a movement from corner, so it moves inside. Now this circle moves inside like this. After moving, again you can see a rotation, how it is rotating? Anti-clockwise direction. If you see the rotation to the anti-clockwise direction, see it is here, and again move to the top, again move to the top, and again rotating, and will come to the bottom. So your answer is option 2 is the answer. So just apply, you rotate this small circle by anti-clockwise direction, you will get option 2 as the answer. So in this case, both the circles are moving as well as rotating. Next question. See here, there is a monkey is given. This particular monkey is changing from A to B, B to C, C to D, and apply the change. So what is the change you can see from A to B? There are two changes. One is the position of legs. You can see these legs are wider. It is wider legs, and here also you can see wider legs. But you see in the figure B, these legs are straight and the back legs are again away. So what you can see, there is only change in the position of legs by either front leg or back leg. So change in the position of legs, either front legs or back legs. Now you can see here B to C. In B to C also, initially in the figure B, these back legs are away. Now they came straight again. So in this case, now the legs are straight. Now observe from C to D. Again in the C to D, if you observe the legs, now the legs are straight in C. If you come to the option D, the legs move forward. Okay, you can see that legs move forward, whereas these legs are straight. And what is the change I can observe? The change that I can observe is even the back legs now move away. So even the back legs also move away. This is possible in option 1, option 2, option 3, but not in the option 4, because option 4 the legs are straight. Here also the legs are straight. So eliminate option 4. And what is the next change I can observe? Not only the position of legs, but also the position of tail. You can see here the tail from A to B, how it is rotating? Rotating clockwise by 45 degrees. In the same way, from B to C, here also the tail is rotating clockwise 45 degrees. From C to D, also the tail is rotating clockwise 45 degrees. And you apply this change and get the answer. Now the tail is position is straight. If it rotate 45 clockwise, means the position will become to the down. So your answer is second option. Because in option 1 and option 3, the tail is in the up. They are not rotating actually. In case of option 2, you can see the rotation from figure D to get the answer 2. See, in case of this question, what you can observe, there is addition of one line. The simple change is addition of one lines. Here there are 2 lines. Here there are 3 lines. Here you have 4 lines. Obviously your answer will be 5 lines. So your answer is option 2. There is a addition of one line is the change we can observe in this particular series. Look at this question. what are the changes you can observe? See, there are many changes here. That is outside figures. You can see this figure, bottom and top. These outside figures, they are also changing. At the same time, inside figures, that is triangle, circle, this quadrilateral, this L shape, they are also changing. So in this question, there are many changes, that is outside figures as well as inside figures. So first I will try to take the easiest option, that is L. You can see this is inverted L, this is normal L, again this is inverted L. Here we will have a normal L. See the normal L. Normal L is present in option 3 and 4. Obviously I can elevate option 1 and 2. And look at the other changes inside itself. See here, triangle is moving from one position to another position. Triangle from this position, it moved to second position in this figure. You can see triangle here, and the triangle at the bottom. Now you can see this triangle is rotating in the clockwise direction. Obviously it will come to the same position again to here. If you see triangle here, in this case the triangle is here. See, triangle is already seen here, right? This same position, but the triangle will be in this position. Why? Because the triangle is rotating clockwise direction. Triangle from here move to this position, so move in the clockwise, again move to the bottom. Obviously in the next figure the triangle will move from here to there, so triangle will be appear here. The moment I see this in between 3 and 4, my answer will be option 4. See, in the exam you need not to check entire all the figures. If there is a confusion, then only check. Otherwise try to eliminate the options as fast as you can to get the answer very fast. In this particular question, you have two changes. One is inside circle and outside dot. You need to check out how this circle is rotating. Simply initially this line is at the bottom. Now this line is showing on the other side. This is on the other side. Means this particular circle is moving in which direction? Clockwise by how many degrees? 90 degrees. Now what about the dark circle? This dark circle movement is from one corner to another corner. Initially in this corner, again move to here. From here it moved to in this direction, and again obviously it will move to the another direction to the bottom as well. So you can see the movement of this particular circle. This circle is moving in anti-clockwise. So the circle is also moving anti-clockwise direction, right? Look at the answer. So inner circle is rotating in the clockwise 90 degrees. So initially it is showing bottom, again rotated 90 degrees clockwise, again rotated clockwise 90 degrees. Obviously the answer figure will be somewhere here. But if you check the options, except 1, 2, 3, 4 are same. Now check the circle. The circle is moving from here to the top, again from top to the corner, from corner to this particular position. Somewhere you can see the circle will be here. That is possible only in the option. In this particular figure, there is no relation between the first figure and the second figure. If you write A, B, C, D, from A to B, there is a complete change. Here there are triangle and plus and square. But if you see in the B, all are squares, some are marked with lines, and inside you have a circle. So there is no relation. But you closely observe, A and B are not related, but A and C, this figure is related, and you have to observe change and get the answer. In the same way, this figure and this figure are same, and you need to apply the same thing and you need to get the answer. Let's try to observe the change that is happening here. There are two changes. One is triangles at the top. Now these triangles move to bottom. So you can see this triangle move to bottom. Whereas the square is as it is. There is no change in the square. So what is going to be our answer? Our answer is, again these triangles from bottom, they will move to the top. So triangles will be on the top. What about the plus signs? From top, they will move to bottom. So plus sign, they will move to the bottom. And what about the square at the center? It will be same. The square will be same. So check out the options. Which is the answer? Option 1 is the answer. In this episode, we saw series questions. So what is series? Series is nothing but change in the pattern from one figure to the next figure. students need to observe the change that is happening from one figure to the next figure to get the answer very easily. In this case, generally the changes will be additions or rotations from clockwise or anti-clockwise directions or addition of some any symbols. You need to observe the change in pattern as fast as you can to get the answer easily. Thank you.